Winter is a time of reflection, of warmth amidst the cold, and of traditions that bring us together. But some winters hold secrets buried beneath the snow, waiting to resurface. Tonight, I'll share with you a tale that will chill you to the bone, a story of a family holiday gone terribly, terribly wrong. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you enjoy these spine-tingling stories. Let's dive in, if you dare. December nights in Winterfall stretched longer than anywhere else Emma had ever been. The kind of nights that weighed heavy where the stars hid behind thick clouds and the cold wrapped itself around you like a second skin. Emma didn't want to go back to her family home. She never did. But her mother's voice on the phone had left little room for argument. "It's Christmas, Emma," her mother had said. "We need you here. I need you here." So Emma packed her bags and hit the road, leaving her tiny apartment in the city for the sprawling Victorian house she'd grown up in. The house was a relic of better times, standing isolated at the edge of a forest, where secrets felt at home among the trees. The road to Winterfall was as unforgiving as the memories Emma had tried to leave behind. Snow fell relentlessly, erasing the lines between the road and the wilderness. The car's headlights carved a narrow path through the white, but the storm swallowed everything beyond their reach. The radio had lost its signal hours ago, and the silence in the car grew heavy. Emma hummed a Christmas tune to herself, hoping to ward off the unease creeping up her spine. Then she saw him. A boy stood in the middle of the road, his pale figure stark against the snow. Emma's heart lurched and she slammed the brakes. The car skidded, tires fighting for traction, before coming to a shaky stop just feet from where the boy stood. She stared at him, her breath fogging up the windshield. He couldn't have been older than 10, with a mop of dark hair and clothes that seemed too light for the freezing weather. Emma rolled down her window, letting the frigid air slice through the car's warmth. "Hey, are you okay? Do you need help?" The boy didn't answer. He tilted his head as though curious about her, then turned and walked into the woods. "Wait," Emma shouted, stepping out of the car. Her boots crunched on the snow as she followed him. "Where are you going? It's too cold out here." The boy disappeared into the trees, leaving only his footprints behind. But as Emma followed them, she realized something strange. The boy's prints didn't press into the snow. They floated atop it as though he were weightless. A chill that had nothing to do with the weather ran down her spine. Emma hurried back to her car, locking the doors and gripping the steering wheel until her knuckles turned white. "It's just a kid," she whispered to herself. "A kid playing in the snow." But the unease wouldn't leave her. She checked the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the boy standing there, but the road behind her was empty. The Victorian house loomed into view an hour later, its dark silhouette framed by the towering pines. Lights glowed faintly from the windows, a beacon in the storm. Her mother opened the door as soon as Emma reached the porch. "You made it," she said, pulling Emma into a tight hug. "Of course I made it," Emma replied, brushing snow off her coat. "But Mom, there was a boy." Her mother's face darkened and she cut Emma off. "Not now. Come inside. You'll catch your death out here." The warmth of the house was a welcome reprieve, but something about it felt wrong. Shadows stretched further than they should, and the old floorboards creaked under Emma's every step. She spent the evening with her mother, going through the motions of small talk. Her mother avoided any mention of Emma's childhood or her father's disappearance, sticking instead to mundane topics like the weather and holiday decorations. But as the night wore on, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't alone. Later, unable to sleep, Emma wandered the house. The memories it held were bittersweet. Family Christmases spent around the tree, laughter that had long since faded, Her feet carried her to her father's study, a room that had been locked since the night he vanished. To her surprise, the door was ajar. She pushed it open and stepped inside. The room smelled of dust and decay, but it was otherwise untouched. Papers lay scattered across the desk, and an old photo album sat open. Emma picked it up, flipping through the pages. Each photo was a snapshot of happier times. Her parents smiling, her as a child, the house filled with life. But then she noticed something strange. In the background of every photo, partially hidden in the shadows, was the boy, always watching, always there. Emma's heart pounded as she turned the pages faster. The boy grew more prominent in each picture until finally, he was standing beside her father, his hand resting on his shoulder. The caption beneath the photo read, December 15th, 2005. The night her father disappeared. The air in the room grew heavy, and a whisper brushed against her ear. "You found me." Emma spun around, but the room was empty. She backed away, clutching the photo album to her chest. The door slammed shut, trapping her inside. The shadows in the room seemed to come alive, pooling together in the corner. From their depths, the boy emerged. "You're not real," Emma whispered, her voice trembling. The boy smiled, but it was wrong. Too wide, too sharp. "You've seen me before," he said, his voice echoing in the empty room. "You just don't remember." Images flashed through Emma's mind. Her father arguing with her mother. Her father driving away into the snow, the boy standing in the yard watching. "You took him," she said, the realization hitting her like a blow. "I didn't take him," the boy replied. "He chose to come with me, just like you will." Emma screamed, but the sound died in her throat. The boy stepped closer, his presence consuming the room. "You've been marked since the day you were born," he said. "December is mine, and so are you." "No!" Emma shouted, slamming her fists against the door, but it was too late. The shadows swallowed her, pulling her into their cold embrace. Sometimes the past refuses to stay buried, and the echoes of what once was will always find their way back. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who loves a good scare. Subscribe for more haunting stories that will keep you on edge, and let me know in the comments what dark twists you'd like to hear next. Until next time, stay warm and watch your shadows.